Welcome to the ward over in Cobar this afternoon for the big grand final. Been first grab between Bourke and Nyngan. The Bourke side is fullback Peter Turnbull. Wingers are Steve Duncan and Tony DeRigo. Centres Bernard Davis and Phil Sullivan. 5'8" is Mark Gordon. Halfback Dennis Meaney. Lock forward Keith Harvey. Second row is the Malcolm Dickens and Mick Williams. Front row Pat Turley. Ash Willinger captain, and the hooker is Timber Banfield. Nyngan, Craig Green fullback. Wingers are Greg Webster and Ross Robinson. Centres are Frank Stant and Peter Smith. 5'8" JB Thompson. Halfback is Bob Linky. Lock forward Barry Burt. Front row, second row Greg Woods and Kenny Fisher. Front rowers are Brett Jeffries and David Bill. The hooker is Gary Jeffrey. Referee Ron Scaines from Walgett. Game about to commence. Nyngan to kick off. There's the whistle from the referee. Kicked off by 5'8" Thompson. It's gone down to DeRigo. DeRigo puts the boot back downfield. It's come in and bounced over halfway. Down to the fullback Grimman. Grimman takes it. Runs it up. Met there by Willinger. Good tackle assisted by Banfield. He'll play it. 5 inside Nyngan's half. Play it back to McCarthy. McCarthy runs up, hit by Harvey and Willinger. He'll play it back to the fullback Grimman. Grimman gives to Wood. Wood runs the blind side, met by Mick Williams and pulled to the ground. He'll play it. A metre inside Nyngan half. Play it back to McCarthy. McCarthy gives it out to halfback Nick over his head. It's picked up by Thompson, the 5'8". Thompson's met by Banfield. He'll play back to McCarthy. To Linky. Linky out to Burt. Burt runs across field. There's no way through there. He's still caught 8 metres inside of Burke's in Nyngan's territory. His last tackle. Played back to McCarthy. Linky calls for it. Gives it to Jeffrey. Jeffrey runs up. He's caught about 8 inside of Nyngan territory. That's the last tackle. No way through the Burt defence at the moment. First scrum of the day. Ball in by halfback Liggins. Nyngan ball. Gives it to Thompson. Thompson runs across field. He gives it out to Smith. Smith the centre. Smith the centre. Met by centre Sullivan. Play back to Webster. Webster runs across field. Beautiful tackle there in the legs by Mark Gordon. Keithy Harvey. Back to McCarthy. McCarthy to Woods. Wood runs it up. Past the Miller. Miller's there. Met by DeRigo and Williams. He'll play it back to McCarthy. To Woods. To Linky. Linky to Fisher. Fisher got nowhere through there. Pushes off one, but can't push off Banfield and Turley. He'll plat a half metre in Bourke's territory. To McCarthy. To Linky. Thompson. Thompson to Burt. Burt's got nowhere to throw there. Met by Meaney. In the last tackle, he'll play it. 5 in Nyngan's territory. Back to McCarthy. McCarthy to Thompson. Thompson puts the kick. Little fine touch. Fine touch about 18 metres in Bourke's territory. On the western side of the field.
You want another bandage?
Fed by Meaney. One by Nyngan. Picked up by Linky. Linky he's gone through the scrum. He's beaten one, but can't beat the defensive tackle of Duncan. Play it back to McCarthy. McCarthy gives to Wood. Wood gives it to Linky. Linky's got Smith outside. Smith got Danton outside him and looked for support. Goes for the first gap. Got through the carpet through to Rigo and Turnbull. He's held Sullivan. Pulled down there. About 5 out from the line. Back to Webster. Webster to Grimman. Grimman across to Linky. Linky to Wood. He's dropped the ball forward. Picked up by second row Dickens. He'll play it 20 out from the Bourke line. Played back to Turnbull. Turnbull runs across field. Tries to strut off big front row. Jeffrey but can't do it. Gives to Banfield. Banfield goes open side, goes across field, makes about 5 across field. No way through there. He'll play it in the second to halfback Meaney. Mark Gordon calls for it. He got Keithy Harvey run off him. There's no way through there for Keithy Harvey. He'll take the tackle. Hello, there's going to be a penalty here. The referee's called out someone. He's called out the Nyngan 5'8" Thompson. There's the penalty to Bourke. First penalty of the game. Scrum's 2-0 to Nyngan. There's the kick from the Bourke, and it's found touch about 8 short of the line, halfway line. DeRigo runs up, beats 1, beats 2, can't beat, there's no way through there. He'll play it right on halfway to Banfield. Gives it to Willinger. Willinger runs it up, but he's met about 2 inside of Nyngan's territory. He'll play it back to Banfield. Banfield to Gordon. Gordon's got DeRigo outside, but it's 2 paid. He's next to go himself and takes a tackle to Banfield. Dickon runs hard. Runs up over the halfway line. He's about 8 inside Nyngan's territory. Play it back to Banfield. Meany calls for it. He gets it. He got Gordon outside him. Gives it to Mick Williams. Mick Williams runs up and crashes to the ground. He's lost the ball, I think. Yeah, Jeffrey's got it from Nyngan. He'll play it back to McCarthy. To Woods. Woods to second row Fisher, but he's lost it. Picked up by the Bourke player and Tony DeRigo. DeRigo play it to Banfield. Banfield to Gordon. Gordon to Turley. Turley runs it up. He's met in a very high tackle there. He got the ball away to Banfield. The referee said play the ball, but he said the ball went forward. He'll take the third scrum down the game. 2 inside of Nyngan's half. Fed by Linky. It's a Bourke scrum win. Picked up Mooney. Give it to full-back Turnbull. He's held up. He's gone out the touch. Referee said we'll have again. Ball in the scrum. He can be a penalty to Bourke. He can penalise the Nyngan half-back, but not for incorrect feed. 11 metres in Nyngan's territory. Mark Gordon will kick the line, kick the touch. There's the kick. He's just short of the quarter line. Had to be taken by Banfield. A crisscross move here. Who get the Dickens going to get up the middle. He runs it up and he's met there by 4 Nyngan defenders. He'll play the ball back to Banfield. Mark Gordon called for the ball. He's got it. Pat Turley off him. Pat Turley runs the ball up 5 metres. He's caught just on the quarter line. He'll take the tackle. Play it back to Banfield. Peter Turnbull calls the ball in the open side. Mark Gordon gets the blind side. Got Keithy Harvey off him. Keithy Harvey takes the tackle, looks at the port, but he can't get the ball away. He'll play it back to half-back Meany. Mark Gordon calls for, gives to Willinga. Willinga runs the ball up, beats one, can't beat, looks at the port, but can't, lost the ball, I think. The referee says play the knock on. Bit of adjudication here between the 2 second rows, but there's nothing brought out of it. The referee said put the scrum down, we'll leave it at that. Ball will be fed by half-back Linky. The referee's not satisfied with the Nyngan front row. Ball fed by Linky. Nyngan scrum win. Goes to the open side. Looks for support. Found 5'8". Thompson looks out to Smith. Smith to Stanton. Stanton's only got Duncan outside. Looks back inside to Robinson. Robinson can't beat Stanton. To centre Phil Sullivan. There's going to be a penalty to Nyngan. Centre Sullivan won't get off him. He's penalised him. Bit over eager he was there. Penalty be taken about 2 inside of Bourke's territory by 5'8" Thompson. There's the kick downfield. He's about 18 metres inside of Bourke's territory. Had to be taken by McCarthy. Greg Woods calls for it. He got Jeffries in the middle side. Gives it back to Jeffrey. Jeffrey goes back to the blind side. Met there by Keithy Harvey and Malcolm Dickens. Played back to McCarthy. McCarthy gives it to Woods. Woods the middle on the blind side. A deliberate forward pass, the referee says. In the correct decision. There's the penalty to Bourke. About 20 metres inside Bourke territory. Mark Gordon will take the line. There's a kick by Gordon. He's found touch, about 12 metres short of the halfway line. Had to be taken by hooker Banfield.
Hit him on, you fellas!
To Meany, to Banfield. Back inside to Sullivan. Sullivan goes across field, finds Bernard David. Bernard David Sullivan. Sullivan finds DeRigo, but he's dropped the ball. It's picked up by Webster. Webster's broken out of one tackle. Can't get it past Turnbull, but he'll take the tackle. About 23 short of the line. Bit to Burt. Burt runs it up. Steps one way, step the other way. Can't beat the tackle of Pat Banfield, it is. Just short of the quarter line. Back to McCarthy. McCarthy gives it to Wood. Woods finds second row Fisher, but he's knocked the ball on again. Picked up by Ashley Willinger for Bourke. Fisher bit over Fisher's tackle there. The referee gets one in caution. Play it back to Meany. Meany to Mark Gordon. Mark Gordon got Dickens one outside, but Dickens lost the ball. Picked up by halfback Linky. Linky stepped one way, puts it off Mark Gordon. Finds support out here in Stanton. Stanton got Robinson outside and left to go himself, but held down by Pat Turley. He'll play the ball back to winger Robinson. Halfback Linky calls for it. He gets it. Looks for support. There's 5'8" Thompson. Thompson goes himself back inside. There's no way through there. Held on the legs by Mark Gordon. Played back to McCarthy. McCarthy finds Miller. Miller stepped back inside. A beautiful tackle by Keithy Harvey. Puts him to the ground. Assisted by Mick Williams. He'll play back to McCarthy. McCarthy gives to Wood. Woods runs it up. Can't beat the tackle of Keithy Harvey. Assisted by Timber Banfield. That's the last tackle. Halfback Nicky calls for it on the open side. He gets it. He runs it out to Thompson. Thompson finds support and Smith. Smith brought right through. He only got the support to find. He's given a stand. He'll score himself. A brilliant individual try by Peter Smith, the centre from Nyngan. Nyngan leads 3-0. So after 9 minutes in the grand final, Nyngan lead Bourke by 3 points to 0. That was a bad mistake by the Bourke back long out there. They let 5'8" Thompson run across field, picked up Peter Smith, and Smith was through the gap. And he was pulled down on the line by fullback Turnbull. It was too late. He was over the line for the try. Nyngan 3-0. There's a convert. He's kicked it. Brilliant kick by Linky. 5-0 now to Nyngan in the grand final for 82. That's a great logical advantage there to Nyngan to get the first points on the board. That makes it easier if you score first. Kicked off by halfback Meany. There's a kick. It's a long one down to the Nyngan goal line. Picked up by fullback Grimman. Grimman runs up over the quarter line. He runs across field and met there by a tackle of Banfield and Williams. Picked up by McCarthy to Woods. Woods runs across field, held down there by the Bourke defence. Mick Williams over the top and Pat Turley underneath. There's a penalty to go on against Bourke. The referee said he pushed him over, but he just fell over. There's the kick on the eastern side of the ground. It's just short of the halfway line. McCarthy to take the tap. Woods calls for it. Taps the ball, gives it to Woods. Inside field is outside field is Burt. Burt takes the tackle of Mick Williams. He applied back to prop forward Miller. Miller runs to the blind side. Met down a lovely tackle by Keithy Harvey and sits by Mick Williams. Play back to hooker McCarthy. Woods calls for it. He runs across field. There's no support with Greg Woods within 30 yards of him. He's held up by 3 Bourke defenders. He'll play back to McCarthy, to Linky, to Thompson. Outside to Webster. Webster tries to get around his man but can't beat Dorigo. Held down with assistance of Banfield. Back to Thompson. Thompson puts a little kick out the top. Who's back there for Bourke? Turnbull's there. Oh, unlucky. It's picked up by 5'8" Thompson, but the referee says play the knock on just as well. Because Keithy Harvey and Peter Turnbull both fumbled that ball. Thompson's way under the post for a try. He's called back for about 30 metres, 40 metres short of the line. Right in centre field. Ball in. Won by Nyngan. Picked up by Linky. Gives it Thompson. Thompson finds outside Smith. Smith met there and a good tackle by Bernard Davis. 12 in Bourke's territory. Played back to Stanton. The referee can penalise for Bourke for not standing directly behind the man. He's very strict so far in his rule on the referee. He's stuck by the book. Linky to take the kick for the line. Puts it just over the sideline. She's about 26 out from the Bourke line. McCarthy will take the tap. Taps it, gives it to Woods. Woods finds Miller up the middle. Miller got the middle, left a good tackle there by Willing, assisted by 2 other Bourke players, and Turley and Dickens. Play back to McCarthy. McCarthy finds prop rower Jeffrey on the blurs, but looks to give it away to Bourke, but Bourke's pushed his deliberate forward pass, the referee says. Penny to Bourke. Bourke trail 5-0. Kick be taken by Mark Gordon. There's the kick over the sideline. Only made about 5 metres. That's Duncan will take the tap. Taps the ball, runs it up. Runs more across field and forward. He'll play the ball back to Banfield. Banfield finds Turley on the side. Run to the referee. What's the referee going to do? No, he said, I'll play on. It could have been a scrum then. Anyway, Banfield to Gordon. Gordon to Williams. Williams takes the ball up. Met by 3. Lost the ball. Pulled out by Nyngan. Picked up by Thompson. But the referee says it was knock on. They're trying to do too much early, Bourke. They've got to settle their play down. Feed by Meany. Referee says, I'm not satisfied with the scrum. Goal loose. He said, I want it. Very, very ordinary scrum at the moment. The ball's in. There's going to be a penalty to Nyngan. The referee says, you put it in second row. Thompson will take the line kick. No, he'll take a tap instead. Taps the ball, runs across field, steps back inside, met by Mark Gordon, assisted by Dennis Mooney. He'll play back to McCarthy. McCarthy on the Miller. Miller runs it up, makes 5-10 metres. A beautiful tackle there by Keithy Harvey. Play that back to McCarthy. McCarthy gives the big front rower Jeffries. No, it's not given away to the fullback Grimman, I think. Yes, fullback Grimman plays the ball back to McCarthy, to Linky. Linky's got second row Fisher outside, but he can't get the ball away. Take a tackle off halfback Meany. Play back to McCarthy. Halfback Linky Corsford. He got Stanton outside him. He got Smith outside him. Runs across field. Taking a beautiful tackle there by Ashley Wallinga. He's hurt himself too. Play back to McCarthy. Gives it to Smith. Smith finds Thompson in field. Thompson got nowhere to go. He tried to put a grub through. He picked it around. This could be a try. No, Linky's fallen over. Picked by Thompson. This could be a Bourke ball, I think. Who's got it? It's a Bourke ball picked up by Bernard Davis. He'll play back to Banfield. Banfield runs the ball up and steadies it all. Nyngan all offside. Mark Gordon will take the kick for line. There's the kick for line. It's right over the side. There's a fan touch. No, it hasn't. Yes, the referee, the line said it has been touched. So he'll take the tap of Tony Dorigo. Tony Dorigo runs up halfway. Tries to brush off too. He's pulled about 8 metres inside of Nyngan's territory. He'll take the first tackle. Back to Ben. Hello, the referee. What's he lost the ball. We'll have a scrum. A Nyngan feed. 10 inside of Nyngan's territory. Ball in the scrum. Could be a Bourke ball. It is. Meany. Mark Gordon runs it up, steadies the play. He'll take the tackle off second row of Fisher.
Come on, Bourke!
Back to Meany. Back to Turnbull. Turnbull to Sullivan. Sullivan's support is too far out there with Bernard Davis. He'll take the tackle. 5 inside. No, the referee says you lost the ball. If I remember correctly, he penalised Bourke for the same thing, but he's not penalising Nyngan. The scrum 8 inside of Nyngan territory. The penalty for the ball goes down. He says, I want you packed straight. There's the mark. You take it. And the Bourke forward just walked off the mark. Centre Sullivan's down injured. Anyway, Thompson will take the kick for the line. Puts it over the sideline. He's about 15 in Bourke's territory. Hooker McCarthy will tap the ball forward. Woods takes the ball. Got Fisher back on the inside. Oh, it could have been close to a Shepherd. The referee said no, play on, but he's held up by 2 Bourke forwards. Play back to McCarthy. McCarthy finds Miller. Miller lost the ball, picked up by Pat Turley. The referee calls timeout for the injured Sullivan. Right in front of the referee's place, so he said, I'll call timeout. Time back on by a referee Scanes, gives it to Mark Gordon. Mark Gordon got Wallinga coming around him and takes the tackle. About 18 short of the halfway line. To Banfield, to Gordon. Gordon's got Sullivan. He's recovered all right. Met by Fisher there and assisted by McCarthy. He'll take the tackle. He'll play back to Banfield. To Banfield, takes it across field. Banfield takes the tackle. Play back to Sullivan. Sullivan's got fullback Turnbull. Puts a little kick over there. He's gone straight to Grimmer, but he'll pick it up in the first bounce. Tries to beat Turnbull. He can't beat Turnbull. He's assisted by Bernard Davis. About 12 inside of Nyngan's territory. Plays it back to Stanton. Stanton goes the blind side. Net there by Dennis Mooney. Assisted by 5'8". No, it's the second old Dickens. To McCarthy, to Woods. Wood runs it up. Met a lovely tackle there by Turley. Assisted by Mark Gordon. He'll play the ball. A swing and kick there by Wood, but missed. Anyway, back to Thompson. Thompson to Miller. Miller got nowhere to go through there. Held down there by Willinger. Back to McCarthy. McCarthy finds halfback Linky. Van Thompson. Thompson out to Smith. Smith wants Stanton. Stanton tries to beat Dave, but can't beat him. He's 12 short of the halfway line in the last tackle. Crossfield to Smith. Smith looks for support. Found in 5'8". Thompson. Thompson tries to break for the ruck, but can't break through there. That's the last tackle. 8 short of the halfway line. Nyngan's really pressuring Bourke at the moment. Still Nyngan 5-0. Picked up by Nyngan. Nyngan comes the open side with Linky, but Linky can't get through Gordon. Play back to Burt. Burt finds Woods. Woods got support outside, but takes the tackle up. Beautiful tackle there by Graffiti Harvey. He'll play it back to McCarthy. McCarthy to a front rower in Jeffrey, but Jeffrey's knocked down by Bernard Davis. Plays back to Robinson. Robinson goes himself across field. Nowhere through there, son. He'll take the tackle of Dickens, assisted by Turley. Back to McCarthy. Blindside to Miller. Miller runs across the Willinger. Met by Willinger. Lost the ball. Picked up by front rower Turley. Lost by Turley too. Pat Turley's been hurt bad. Hey, with nothing serious. There's been a lot of pain. Time back on by the referee. 23 minutes gone in the first half. Still Nyngan 5-0. Nyngan can't get in. He's not happy with the scrum. Ball in the scrum. Out to, but no, the referee said, we'll have it again. Very strict so far. Nyngan ball. Picked up by Linky. Linky tries to go through there. There's no way through there. He's back for the forwards. Met by Willinger and Meany. Play back to McCarthy. McCarthy took the tackle of Willinger again. Back to Woods. Woods to half-back Linky. Linky long pass to Thompson. Thompson decoy to Smith. Grimmels lost the ball. He didn't want it. Picked up by Sullivan. He'll take the pass back to Bernard Davis. Bernard Davis runs across field. Looks for support. The Nyngan are all offside. He pointed about 5 blokes then. Mark Gordon to kick for touch. There's the kick. It's well over the sideline. 5 inside Nyngan's territory. Tap to be taken by winger Dorigo. Taps it. Runs it up over the 10-yard line. Met by hooker McCarthy and held up by Woods. He'll play it back to Banfield. Banfield gives it to Turley. Turley's recovered okay. He's lost the ball, but could be a Nyngan ball. But kicked through by Banfield. A scuffle lead. No one's like 1,000 knock-ons, I think. What's the referee say? He says it's a Nyngan ball. Turley's down again, picked up by Webster, pushes off Dickens, but can't push off Banfield. McCarthy finds Miller on the blind side. He runs it up over the 10-metre line. Met by Willinger and Dickens. He'll play back to McCarthy. McCarthy finds Wood. Wood decoys back to Fisher. Fisher got nowhere through there. Met by the Bourke defence. Play back to McCarthy. McCarthy decoy to Woods, give it to Linky. Linky, stock and pass out Thompson, picked up well, but he's met by the Bourke defence of Gordon, the last tackle. There's the ball back to Thompson. Thompson puts the kick to it. Over the head. Duncan's back there. Will he get to us? It could be a good kick if he doesn't. Duncan picks it up, right in the Bourke goal line. Runs it up, runs it out. Tries to beat Stanton, can't beat Stanton.
Come on, guys, get back there.
Back to full-back Turnbull. Bourke jogging back onside. Picked up by Turnbull. Turnbull knocks back. He recovers. Bourke very slow to recover. Picked up by Centre Davis. Davis runs across field. Met by 3 Nyngan blokes. Mainly Woods and Burt. Played back to Hooker Banfield. To Gordon. Gordon finds Dorigo on the other winger here, but he's over this side, run the ball out. He'll play it back to Banfield. Banfield looked to the open side to Mark Gordon. Mark Gordon looks for the kick, puts it over the sideline. But Webster, the hooker, winger Webster there, takes the bounce very well. Runs it up, tries to beat Sullivan, pushes off Sullivan. Mate to Turnbull, found Wilton to Grimman. Grimman pushes off Bernadette, looks at support and back inside to Webster, but Webster's pulled down there by Dorigo. But he got the ball back, they're still going, Webster. Met there by 3 Bourke defenders and in the touch. It can be a penalty, I think. The referee says, I call held. He'll take the tap, Webster. Taps the ball. Decoy to Wood. Wood finds Miller back in the middle zone. Miller runs it up the line. He must be very close to that line. Play back to Hooker McCarthy. McCarthy to Woods. Woods out to Jeffrey. Jeffrey runs across field. Lovely low tackle there by Keithy Harvey. Harvey to back to McCarthy, to Linky, to Thompson. Plenty of overlap here. He can get away, dummies, but held up by Bourke Streeter and throws it back inside to Hooker McCarthy. But the ball went forward, the referee says. We'll put the scrum down. Nyngan pressuring Bourke. It's all Nyngan so far. They're leading 5-0. Bourke get the ball and they lose it. They can't put their game together. A scrum about 10 out from the Bourke line. Still 5-0 to Nyngan. Fed by halfback Mooney, put the ball in. It's a Bourke ball. Picked up by Mooney, goes the blind, open side. Looks to the port, found Bernard Davis. Bernard Davis looks to the port, but can't get the ball away to Ringer to Rigo. He'll take the tackle. The Rigo will run the ball up. Tries to push off Webster, pulls out of Webster. Met by Fisher, and took the tackle there. Play back to halfback Mooney. Mooney finds Gordon. Gordon finds Turley, but Nyngan all offside. I want your 5, he said. Stanton, a very, very groggy man out on the side here, walking back, carrying a sort of injury on his hip there somewhere. Anyway, Gordon puts the ball over the sideline, bounced on the table, knocked the bell off the table. Just missed Duck Davis's head. Anyway, Dorigo will take the tap. Taps it, runs it up, over the halfway line. Met by Big Jeffries and lost the ball, picked up by Nyngan, to Miller, to Linky. Linky got support from Thompson. He held the ball up. Look, tries to break it for the tackle, got the ball away to Smith. Smith tries to break through, can't get the ball away. Battled there by Bernard Davis and Steve Duncan. Bourke just can't put their game together. Picked up by Robinson. Robinson tries to push off Bernard Davis. He had, but he can't push off Turley and Banfield. He'll play it back to McCarthy. To Miller on the blind side. Miller takes it up, tries to push off Dickens. Gets out of Dickens' tackle, but held down by Turley. Plays it back to McCarthy. To Woods. Decoy back into Fisher on the blind side. Held up there by 3 Bourke defenders. He'll play back to McCarthy. To Linky. To Thompson. Thompson's got Smith. He got Decoy there too. He took the tackle of Sullivan and Keithy Harvey. Going to penalise him. I don't know what for, but he said a swinging arm there from Sullivan. A swinging arm then from Sullivan. Well, that's been Bourke's downfall at the moment. They're giving too many silly pennies away. Sullivan's a bit overvicious. He's given away about 3 so far. So the attempted penalty goal will be taken by halfback Linky, with Nyngan leading 5-0. Nyngan 5 up at 27 in the first half. Linky places the ball. He's about 5 out from centre field, about 30 out from the goal line. There's the kick. It's gone out the left butt. He's missed it. Won't get in goal, so we'll come back with a 25 dropout. Yeah, up and down now. 25 dropout. Taken by Mooney. Kicks it downfield. Picked up by lock forward Burt. Burt runs across field. Met by a good tackle there by Harvey and Mooney. Played back to McCarthy. To Linky. Linky steps back inside to Keithy Harvey. Can't beat Pat Turley, but back to McCarthy. Wood calls on the blind side. Takes the tackle himself. Looks at the port. There's Stanton back inside. Met there by Keithy Harvey and Banfield. Back to McCarthy, to Woods. Woods finds support in Jeffrey, the big front row, with no way through there. The two centres pull him down in Sullivan and Bert Davis. Back to Winger Robinson to Miller. Miller goes to the blind side. Met in a lovely tackle there by Sullivan. To Linky. Linky a long one to Thompson. Thompson finds Fisher on the burst, but can't beat the tackle there. Tries to get his ball away, but Mark Gordon pulls him down in the last tackle. Still 5-0, 29 minutes gone in the first half. Scrum feed by Meany. Referee not happy with the scrum, with the feed. Right in centre field, 28 from the Bourke line. In, out to Nyngan. Picked, no, the referee said we'll have it again. Third time, break back by Nyngan. Linky Fuchs, line support and Thompson. Thompson finds Smith. Smith going right through. Bernard Davis, he's going to score himself. Back to Webster. Webster will score a brilliant try to Nyngan. 8-0. Bourke back line was just not there. Very, very disorganised they are. 8-0 to Nyngan, 30 minutes gone in the first half in the grand final. Here's a conversion by halfback Linky. 8-0 to Nyngan. That's Thompson, the 5'8". Kicks the ball in the air. What's the both flags do? Both up. 10-0 to Nyngan in the grand final. It's a big lead. Nyngan lead 10 points to 0. Bourke have got to put the game together shortly. There's the kick-off, picked up by lock forward Bert. Bert runs it up over the quarter line, beats back inside. He's gone right through him. This has got to be a try. He got the 5'8" aside him. Turnbull beats Turnbull, runs across field. Turnbull comes at him, looks for the port. There's no one there. Beautiful tackle by Turnbull. He buckets, that's got to be a penalty. Yes, the referee says yes, you were called held. It's just as well for Bourke because Bert had support outside and not a man put a hand on him. Silly mistake by lock forward Bert. They had the advantage. He was called held, got up and run again. For Bourke's sake, it was very luck. Could have been 15-0. But it's still 10-0. There's the kick from Mark Gordon, just outside the quarter line. Bourke got to do something very shortly. They're right behind the A-ball. Banfield. Decoy, gives it to Wallinga. No, it's Turley. Turley goes to the line side. Puts off one, pushes off two, but can't push off Woods. To Banfield. To Gordon. Gordon's got Williams on the burst. Williams runs it up, beats one, but can't beat Burton and McCarthy. He'll take the tackle. To Turnbull. Turnbull runs himself on dummy half. Gives to Wallinga. Winger got support from Tony DeRigo, but lost the ball forward. That's been Bourke let down all day today. Webster picks it up, runs across field, pushes off one. Can't push off Banfield. Gets the ball back to McCarthy. McCarthy will take the tackle. Held down by his opposing hooker in Banfield. The linesman's come in for something. Some adjudication. He's called out the Bourke captain, Wallinga, for a swinging arm. I don't know who on, but he's called him out for caution.
Look at the rocky-legged cunt.
The other front row, Miller had been called up too. The linesman did all the talk, the referee did all the listening. What's going to happen? It's an Nyngan ball. He's going to go back and penalise someone. Looks like it'll be a penny to Bourke. Yes, penny to Bourke. I don't know what Miller done, but anyway, he's been penalised for it. There's a kick from Mark Gordon over the touchline, about 3 inside of Nyngan's territory. Well, Bourke got a score very shortly before approaching half-time. Dorigo runs, pushes off one, tries to push off Bourke, but sits there by Fisher and Woods. He'll play the ball back to Banfield. Banfield decoy to Willinga. Willinga runs it up to the 10-yard line. Found Gordon in Sullivan. Sullivan's back to the 10-yard line, but pulled up there by his half-back and Licky. He'll play back to Banfield. To Meany. Meany finds Dickens. Dickens runs it up. Met a good low tackle there by Smith. Back to Bernard Davis. To Turley. Turley runs it up. Met there by Woods. He'll take the tackle. Held down the tackle. Played back to Banfield. The crowd urging Bourke on. To Williams. Williams runs across field. Tries to push off Burton. A beautiful low tackle there by the Nyngan front rower and Jeffries. Play the ball back to Sullivan. To Gordon. Gordon puts the kick in. It bounces, knocked on by the half-back Linky. Quite unlucky for Duncan then, because he come from this wing to the other wing and just missed out and dived on that ball. Still 10 points to Nyngan, favouring in the big grand final for 1982. Ball in the scrum, referee not happy. Ball in, stays a penny to Bourke. Second row says the referee, I want it in straight. He had no hesitation to penalise the Nyngan half-back Linky then. That's the third time he's penalised him for that.
Hear that?
There's the kick, has gone the touch. What's the referee say? He's hello, the front row Miller complained to the linesman. He said, I touched the ball, so the linesman said, yes, he touched it, so he put a scrum down. He already signalled the referee the ball was in touch. Anyway, the ball in the scrum. Out to Nyngan. Picked up now. Referee says not in fright. Have it again. Bourke got to get this ball from the scrums. Referee says break up and come in field more.
What happened? What happened, mate? He got the ball, did he?
Ball in by Linky. Could be a Nyngan ball. It is. Met by half-back Mooney.
Fuck Nyngan ball.
So another scrum down there, knocked on by Linky. It's in the scrum. Picked up by Linky. Runs to the open side. Find Burt. Burt found Thompson. Thompson find Smith. Smith got support outside Stanton. Stanton find Robinson. Robinson goes to Duncan, but Duncan pull him down just short of about 15 short of the halfway line. Duncan will take the mark. Hello, he can penalise Mark Gordon. I want you 5. He's been very, very severe on the Bourke 5 metre today. He hasn't missed him once. 10-0 she is. Thompson way back on the call line, injured. Nicky will take the kick. Kicks it in the touch. McCarthy takes the tap. Gives it to Woods, dummy around. Jeffrey come up the middle. Takes the middle up the mark. Met by Dickens. Pulled out by Banfield. Could be 6 again here. Woods kicks the ball forward. The advantage must be played. The referee says yes, take the advantage. We'll put the scrum down about 10 out from the Bourke line. Woods could see the opportunity there. He kicked the ball through. There's no Bourke blow back in support, and the ball rolling the touch about 10 short of the line. Ball in by Meany. Who's won it? Looks like a Bourke win. Yes, Bourke scrum win. Picked up by half-back Meany. He'll play back to second rower Dickens. Dickens finds Turnbull. Turnbull looks, tries to dummy his way through. He can't beat Linky. He'll play it back to Gordon. Harvey runs it up. Go for a run. Hasn't done much yet, Keithy Harvey in attack. Done a lot of defence, but play it back to Banfield. Banfield to Gordon. Gordon finds Willinga. Willinga looks and finds Duncan. Duncan's out. He tries to beat Robinson. Can't beat Robinson. He'll take the tackle. 18 short of the halfway line. Plays it back to Willinga. To Gordon. Gordon dummies. Lost the ball. Knocked backwards, the referee said. That's the last tackle. Anyway, gives it to Turnbull. Turnbull puts the kick in. It's right back to the winger Webster. Webster picks it up. He's got Dorigo to beat. Pushes off Dorigo. He's got Bernard Davis coming across field. Bernard Davis takes him in a touch. Bit of a scruffle on over here between Dorigo and Webster. The referee's calling them both out. He's already awarded the scrum, but what's he going to do? He's called both players out.
They're just wasting time now, thinking, punching and fighting.
The referee's told Willinga Either quieten him now, otherwise you'll lose him. He's really got the finger going at him. He can be penalty to Nyngan. 5 minutes. It could be 5 in the sin bin, is he? Is he sent me 5 minutes to sin bin? Winger Dorigo's been given 5 minutes in the sin bin. Anyway, there's a kick by Thompson. Found, touched. About 10 out from the Bourke line. Tap to be taken by McCarthy to Woods. Runs around. Woods runs himself. Bourke's just not putting this man to the ground. He's run all day. They're not putting Woods down. Anyway, back to McCarthy. The blind side to big front rower Jeffries. He takes the tackle. Must be very close to the try line. If Nyngan score here, Bourke could make it very hard to get back in this game to McCarthy. It's gone over his head. Knocked down by fullback Turnbull, but it ticks again. The referee says. To Grimman. Grimman runs it up. No way through there. Halfback, fullback Turnbull held up and all sits by Keithy Harvey. Plays big front row Miller. Miller running right charges to the line. Back to McCarthy. Halfback Linky. Thompson. Thompson's got Fish on the burst. Held down the good low tackle there by Sullivan, the last tackle.
Get up, Burnett.
It can be a penalty to Nyngan. That's Bourke's depth. They've given away about 10 penalties like that so far today, not getting off the band. Silly tactics, that is. You won't win grand finals like that. It's about 2-1, I think, the penalty count at the moment in favour of Nyngan. That's been Bourke's downfall. Penalty kick to be taken by 5'8" Thompson. Nyngan lead 10-0, 38 minutes gone the first half. There's a kick from Thompson, puts it straight between the post. 12-0 to Nyngan. That'll really boost Nyngan's confidence now, leading 12-0, approaching half-time. Bourke have not played the instructions from the coach Hamilton of today. The forwards are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. The backs are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. 12-0 is a big lead approaching half-time in the grand final. Kick off by Meany. Kick it downfield. Burt waits for it. Bounces one. Picks it up. They've got Grimman with him. Lets to run himself. Runs over the quarter line. Pulled down there by Dickens and Turley. He'll play back to Grimman. Grimman gives it to Woods. Wood runs up. Pushes off one bloke but can't push off Turley and Dickens. Plays it back to McCarthy. McCarthy finds Linky on the open side. Runs up to the port. Knocked the ball backwards. Picked up by halfback Dennis Mooney at Bourke.
Come on, you can do something with it here.
Banfield. Bourke's got a score now to Sullivan. Sullivan looks for support, finds a lovely pass to Duncan. Duncan tries to push him in. Find back Bernard Davis. There's no way through there for the Bourke centre. He'll play back to lock forward Harvey. Harvey finds himself going himself. Tries to strut off one, pushes through one, tackles. He's about 10 out from the line. To Banfield, to Gordon. Gordon finds Williams, dummy to Williams, found Sullivan. Not a back line out there. Not a Bourke back out there. Bourke back line is walking. He's lost the full ball forward, Sullivan. Will take the scrum. The ball went forward from Sullivan. Bourke back line was not there. Sullivan looked for support. There wasn't even the winger out there. Anyway, scrum in. Fed by Linky. A scrum pen to Bourke. They've got to take the tap here. They're losing time. They've got to talk and argue. Tap by Banfield. There's a half-time throw. To Meany, to Willinga. Willinga finds Duncan. Duncan's lost the ball. That's it. Nyngan lead 12-0 at half-time in the big Tooheys Group 15 Rugby League Grand Final from Ward Oval in Cobar. 12-0 to Nyngan. Right, second half about to commence. Kicked off by halfback Mooney. Bourke trails 12-0 in the grand final. Their last chance. Ball's knocked backwards from lock forward Burt. Picked up by fullback Grimman. Grimman runs it up. Met in a beautiful low tackle there by Keithy Harvey. Plays it back to McCarthy. McCarthy met on a tackle there by Harvey. Back to Woods. This is the man who's doing all damage to Bourke. To Miller. Miller runs it up. Met by Gordon. And down low was Meany. They've got to rectify Woods' errors. He's the one who's doing all. Oh, there's a high tackle there from the Bourke bloke. Willinger. Back to McCarthy. To Woods. Runs it up. Woods brushes off Mark Gordon's tackle. Held down there by Phil Sullivan. That's the last tackle. To McCarthy. To Thompson. Thompson puts the kick-ins. Over full-back Turnbull's head. Picked up by Duncan, the winger. He runs up over the 10-yard. Up to the halfway line. He's over the halfway line. Pushed off one man. He's about 10 inside of Nyngan's territory. He's held up. He'll play the ball back to Dickens. Dickens goes the blind to himself. Made about 5 yards. Pulled down by fullback Grimman. To Banfield, to Williams. Williams on the burst. But he stopped when he got to the man then. Anyway, the referee's called time out for the Nyngan bloke hurt. Big front rower Jeffrey. Big wing at the rear. About to come on after his suspension of 5 minutes in sin bin. Bourke got to nullify their mistakes shortly. Otherwise it can be too late. 12-0 down. Anyway, time back on to Banfield, to Gordon. Hello, the referee said you knocked it on. Well, he wasn't even watching the play, then he was watching the man, the Nyngan back line. And he's called a knock on. Anyway, he was right. Ball in the scrum.
Push! Won't even come out.
Fed, straight through. Could be a Bourke win. Is a Bourke win. Picked up by Meany. Meany goes to the blind side. Got Duncan with him. He just can't breach the tackle of halfback, no, second rower Fisher. To Duncan. Duncan goes to Gordon. Gordon's got support and Harvey. Harvey's knocked the ball on. Picked up by Sullivan. It's been Bourke's mistake all day. They can't hold the ball. A good man. Bourke scrum win. To Sullivan. Sullivan takes it up. 28 out from the Nyngan line. They've got to score now. Banfield. Banfield go for a little spurt himself. There's no way through there, little fella. He'll take the tackle. Back to Meany, to Gordon, to Dickens. Dickens runs the ball up, met by Greg Woods. He'll take the tackle. Back to Banfield. To Gordon, to Willinger. Willinger looks back in support and found it in Harvey. Bourke back line, not even out there. And then called for the ball to Gordon, to Meany, to Turnbull. Turnbull's knocked the ball on. I'll say it again, it's been Bourke's downfall. They can't hold the ball. Another scrum. 27 out from the Nyngan line. Linky in. No, straight through, the referee says. He said straight out, but it went straight through. The Linky. It's in the lock in the scrum. Could be a Nyngan scrum when it is. Picked up by Linky. Linky goes himself. Tries to push off Mark Gordon, but can't. Take the tackle. Back to McCarthy. McCarthy held up by Meany. To Woods. To Fisher. Fisher runs it up. Met by Williams. Pulled out of Williams' tackle. Held by Turley. Lost the ball. Hello, he's going to penalise him. He's going to penalise Turley for pulling the ball out.
Come on, one, give us a bit of a fucking go.
Picked by Thompson. In the touch. He's only made about a yard, but he's gone the touch.
Come on, back. Make a name for yourself.
Tapped by McCarthy. McCarthy to back inside the Miller on the burst. Lovely low tackle there by Willinger. To McCarthy. To Jeffrey. Jeffrey on the blind side. Runs it up. Met by 3 Bourke defeat. Lost the ball. Could be a Bourke ball. No, in the touch. Bourke's sort of playing this game like it's the first game of the season, not the last. They've got to hold that ball like gold. Ball in the scrum. Straight through, the referee says. In. Out to Nyngan. to Linky, to Burt, to Thompson. Thompson runs across, to Smith. Smith looks for support, but can't beat the tackle off Sullivan. Back to winger Webster. Fullback Grimman calls for it. He runs it up, met by, he beats Sullivan, runs across field, can't beat the tackle of Keithy Harvey. To Webster, to McCarthy, runs up, can't beat Vic Williams and Dorigo.
More of it.
He'll play it back to Burt. Runs the open side. Tries to break through Willinger, but can't do it. He'll take the tackle on the last. To McCarthy. To Linky. Linky puts the little kick over the top. Who's back there for Bourke? Evades one. No, Bernardo's got it. Looks for support, and Duncan found Duncan. All Duncan wanted to do was to protect himself. He didn't want the ball. He lost the ball forward. Regained. Scrum goes down. 27 out from the Bourke line, the eastern side of the ground. Still 12-0 to Nyngan. Feed by Meany. Ball in. It could be a Bourke scrum win. No, the scrum screwed right around. It come out the Nyngan side. No, it can be a penalty to Bourke.
Oh, my God.
So you're going to penalise the halfback for not retiring the ball. Well, you know, the scrum for a start, so I reckon he penalised the halfback. Mark Gordon to take the kick. Don't shake your head, Ian. There's the kick, 5 short of a halfway line. Duncan to take the tap. Duncan runs it up over the halfway line. Pushes off one, but can't push off the front rower Jeffrey. Plays it back to Banfield, gives it back to Dickon. Dickon runs it up, made 5 metres, met by 2 Nyngan blokes, mainly in Burton Woods. He'll take the tackle to Banfield. To Gordon, to William. William runs it up. He hasn't made any progress. He'll play back to Meany, to Dickon. Dickon runs up. He's in a bit of a go now. Dickens, he's run the ball up very well. Plays it back to half-back Meany. Mark Gordon calls the blind side. He got support from Sullivan. Likes to go himself. That's the last tackle.
It's 13 out there, Bourke.
Plays it back to Banfield. Banfield goes himself. Little run. Beats one. Look for support. Found Mark Gordon backing up. Look for support. Back inside to Dennis Meany under the post. Well, that's a try Bourke wanted.
That's how you do it.
They had to do it then.
That's how you do it, matey.
Brilliant little break there by Hooker. Trevor Banfield. He's found support in Mark Gordon back on the outside. Threw it back into the unopposed Mark. Dennis Meany has scored under the post. Bourke trailed 12-0, 12-3 in the grand final. Hamilton pulled off Williams, put Dorigo in the second row, and put Downey onto the centre. Bernard Davis to go to the wing. There's the kick from Gordon, straight between the posts. Bourke trailed 12-5 in the grand final. They've got to go on with it now. They can't slack off now. There's a kick off by Nyngan.
10-12, isn't it?
Picked up by Dorigo. Dorigo puts the kick straight back down. It's a towering kick. It bounces across from Gibbon. Could bounce on the touch. It does bounce a touch. Nyngan looks like big front row Jeffrey's been replaced from Nyngan side too. I can't see who's gone on. A scrum to go down. 28 out for the Nyngan line. Linky to feed. Ball ins. Out to... Oh, Meany's knocked it on for the scratch bum.
Scratch bum.
Ball to go in by Linky again. Not happy with the way the scrum's packed.
They win this scrum, they'll go in.
Ball in, picked up. Oh, Nyngan won the ball, but it's picked up by Mark Gordon. To down him, and down he crashed to the ground there. 10 minutes gone. Bourke trail 12-5. Picked up by Mark. Dennis Meany. Back to Peter Turnbull. Get involved in the game now. That try might have boosted Bourke's moral now. They're really running onto the ball. Turnbull, Gordon calls the ball. Dorigo. Nyngan all offside. Right in front of the post. Nyngan caught all offside. Ashley Ringer said, we'll go for penalty goal. 10 minutes gone. Bourke trail 12-5. Pat Turley looks a very hurt man out there. Mark Gordon.
How long to go? 30 odd minutes.
Mark Gordon to take this very, very vital kick for goal here to bring Bourke right back in the game. They trail 12-5. 11 minutes gone. Moves back. A lot of concentration there on this young boy. There's the kick. Straight between the posts. 12 points to 7 now, Bourke trail.
Come on, 7-12.
They're really urging each other. They're caught. They're talking to each other now. Centre D and Downing on there. I think he might have lifted these blokes a lot now.
Come on, Sully!
They've got to hit these Nyngan
Get
big
up,
forwards.
buddy!
I can't see who replaced big front rower Jeffries yet. Oh, Adrian Orley's on there. Adrian Orley's on there. Robinson looks like going to the forwards. Orley out to the wing. There's the kick by Thompson. Kicked off, gone down to big second row forward, Tony DeRigo. Puts the Joe Garner to it. There it goes downfield. Has gone right in for Hawley Wastefoot. He's knocked the ball on. Down he comes through, but can't be picked up by Wallinga. Look for the port, Ian Downey. He looked at Freya, tried over Ian Downey. A magnificent try, I think. He pulled out short of the line. Just short of the line by big Ian Downey. It was a brilliant take by Ashley Wallinga. The referee's called back for something. What's he done? He's called the scrum. Well, that was the brilliant he picked up by Ashley Wallinga, scooped up to Ian Downey. He was in the clear but run down by the cover defence. He must have knocked the ball on because he's put a scrum down. Thompson, the 5'8", no, it's not, it's Orley, the replacement, walking back very, very groggy. Bert's on his hands and kneels. Fed by Linky. Ball in the scrum. Who's won it? Bourke win. Picked up by Dennis Mooney. Tries to barge through the ruck there. There's no way through there. Plays it back to Banfield. To Gordon. Gordon's got Duncan opposite Gordon. Lets it go himself. Played back to Keithy Harvey. Keithy Harvey shrugs off one, shrugs off two. He must be awfully close to that try line. Lost the ball. Pinched by Thompson, the Nyngan 5'8". Tried to push off Sullivan, but can't do it. We had the advantage and lost it. Anyway, Thompson will play it.
Don't give it away, don't give it away.
Picked up by McCarthy. McCarthy takes the tackle of Mark Gordon.
You want the ball?
McCarthy gets up, plays it back to Woods. Woods goes the blind side, finds Miller. Miller evades one tackle, looks for the port, but can't swivel out the tackle there. Pulled down there by Turley, hurt again. Anyway, to Woods. To Robinson. Robinson's been shifted from the wing to the second row. He'll take the tackle of Turley. It's not Turley. It looks like Dickens. It is Dickens. Anyway, back to McCarthy to Woods. Woods goes the blind side. Fisher runs up. He's met by Willingham. A good low tackle there. Fits it by Tony DeRigo. He'll play the ball back to McCarthy. To Linky. Now as Thompson runs across field, pushes off Mark Gordon, finds the support in Linky. Linky tries to break away, pass the ball back to the Bourke fans. Got it picked up by Phil Sullivan. Sullivan will take the ball up 15 inside of 5 inside of Nyngan's territory. Play it back to Harvey. Harvey finds Turley but goes himself. Tries to push off one, pushes off one. Looks for support. Fantil going himself. He's made a 10-yard break. Play the ball back to Duncan. Duncan back to Gordon. Gordon finds support and Dickon. Dickon runs the ball up with determination. He'll take the tackle. Play it back to Banfield. Gordon calls for the ball. Lottie Samoa's big DeRigo. DeRigo runs the ball up hard. Met by two blokes and takes a tackle there. He'll play it back to Downey. Downey gets to Gordon. Gordon calls the ball to Sullivan. Sullivan runs onto it well. Tries to beat two blokes but can't push him off. He'll take the tackle on the last one. Banfield to Gordon. Gordon looks but Nyngan all offside again. I watch the back 5. Right in front of the post. Bourke trail 12 points to 7. 15 minutes gone. A penalty attempt by Mark Gordon. from Mark Gordon. Convert the try now. Bourke trail by 12 points to 9 after 15 and a half minutes the second half of the big 1982 to his rugby league grand final. Bourke really fighting back. Down 12-0. They're back to 12-9 now. They've got to keep on going on now. Put the pressure right on them.
A point. Did you get him?
There's a kick off from Nyngan. Down to Rigo. Rigo does the same thing again. Puts a kick to it. They're going to play tactics in Nyngan's territory. Robinson over his head. Picked up by Grimman. Grimman runs himself. Met by Downey. And by Winger. Crash and tackle there by Wallinger. Referee says play the ball back to the big Robinson, the winger. He's met by Wallinger. Excitement from wall off the ground. I can't hear him. I don't suppose you'll be able to hear him anyway. Back to Thompson. Thompson takes the tackle of Mark Gordon. Back to the hook of McCarthy. McCarthy finds Wood. Wood runs it up. Try to push it up, but can't beat the tackle of Gordon and Downey. He'll take the tackle. Back to McCarthy. McCarthy finds Miller on the blind side. Miller pushes the tackle of Downey, but can't beat Dorigo. He'll take the tackle on the last one. 9 inside of Bourke's territory. To Linky, to Thompson. Thompson finds Smith, but passes out to Stanton. Stanton got nowhere to go. Tries to beat Meany, but can't beat him. And held down by Sullivan. That's the last tackle. 5 inside of Bourke's territory. 17 minutes gone in the grand final of the second half. Bourke trail 12 points to 9. Feed by Dennis Meany. Bourke are really putting the pressure right on Nyngan now. Ball in the scrum. Who's got the ball? I can't see. No one. Feed again by Meany. Hooker Banfield can't get the ball in the scrum. Nyngan run. Thing the blind side by Thompson. Thompson finds Smith. Smith looks for support but can't break the tackle of Downey. He lost the ball forward, but the referee didn't see it. Play it back to Webster. Webster runs across field. Tries to push off Downey, but can't push it. No, Bernard Davis it was. Held down by Banfield. He'll play the tackle 11.5 metres in Bourke's territory. Back to McCarthy. McCarthy to Linky. Linky across to Bird. Bird goes across field. Lost the ball. Picked up by Stanton. The referee says they'll play the knock on. The ball went forward. Bourke are really putting the tackles down now. They're making these tackles hurt. Nyngan are really starting to feel the pinch. Bourke trail 12-9 after 18 minutes of the grand final in the second half. Ball in the scrum out to Nyngan. Picked up by Linky to Thompson. Thompson finds Smith. Smith got Stanton. A deliberate forward pass. The referee, but he's dropped the ball. Picked up. The referee can't see it. The referees will play the knock on. A bit of a scuffle here, but the referee says pull it apart, fellas. We don't want blokes sent off. It was Downey and 5'8" Thompson. Ball in the scrum. Won by Bourke. Picked up by Meany to Mark Gordon. Mark Gordon gives it across field to who? Downey. The referee says, what happened? Play it, he says. I couldn't see what there, but Downey plays it back to Meany. Meany to Gordon. Gordon finds back Petey. Harvey. Harvey knocked the ball on. It's gained by Nyngan. Picked up by Wood. Wood runs across field. Tries to beat Sullivan. Pushes off Sullivan. But can't push off Turley. He'll play the ball back to McCarthy, to Robinson. Robinson finds support, but runs himself and takes a tackle off Keithy Harvey. He'll play it 15 in Bourke's territory, to McCarthy. To Linky, to Thompson. Thompson finds Smith. Smith lost the ball. Picked up by Noah's knocked forward by both sides. No advantage. Mark Gordon couldn't gain that ball. Bourke have got to get this ball for this scrum.
How long to go, Bourke?
19.5 minutes gone in the grand final, the second half. Ball in the scrum. The referee said, I want it in straight. Meany puts it in. Looks like a Nyngan scrum win. No, the ball, it is Nyngan. No, it's coming up the Nyngan side, but dived on by Mark Gordon, I think. No, it's Ian Downey. He'll play it back to Duncan. Duncan goes across field. Little 5-metre burst. Tries to break through, but pulled down 5 metres inside of Nyngan territory. He'll play it back to hooker Banfield. Banfield gives it to Turley. No, he gives it back to Harvey. Harvey runs up 5 metres, trying to break the defence, but can't break it through there. He'll play it back to Banfield. Mark Gordon calls for it. Billy Wallinger. Wallinger looks back in support, gives it to Rigo. Tries to break through, but can't break the defence of Smith. He'll play it back to Downey. Downey gives it to Mark Gordon. Mark Gordon finds, no, could be to Turnbull. Turnbull looks across field. Bad pass there. Picked up well by Steve Duncan. He's in the clear, Duncan, but pulled in over the sideline by the Nyngan cover defence. He's about 27 out for the Nyngan line. There's still 12-9, 20 minutes gone in the grand final. Bourke scrum win, picked up by Meany to Turnbull. Turnbull goes for a little blurt, one side, looked for the paw, but lost the ball, forward, regained. Might feel unlucky there, he had support in Mark Gordon. Ball in the scrum, Nyngan scrum win. He's won, lost the ball, picked up by the Bourke boy. I don't know who it is, but he dived on it. It's Banfield the hooker. Picked up by Willinger. Willinger's knocked the ball on. Knocked on by the captain, Willinger. That was a bad mistake there by Ashley. Just a bit over eager. They should settle down now and try and play the football they can play. And Nyngan, hello, the referee's called time out. Right, time back on now. One by Bourke. Duncan runs the ball up, tries to break through the Nyngan defence. He's held about 5 short of the line. He'll play it back to Turnbull. Turnbull looks for support, found Meany. To Gordon. Gordon runs back into the ruck. Tries to bar through the line, but there's no way through. Got the ball away to Meany. He's over. A magnificent try to Dennis Meany. The crowd's going wild. Mark Gordon gave the ball back to Meany. Meany's dived over under the post. Let's come from 12-0 down. This could be the lead of 14 points to 12. 12-0. They're leading now 12 on the grand final of 82. The Saxos and the southern side's gone mad down there. A magnificent try by Dennis Meany. Well, Bourke's right back in this here now. Nyngan look a very, very beaten side at the moment. Can Bourke go on with the 24 minutes gone in the second half? 4-12 on the grand final of the 2E Rugby League Group 15. Brought to you live from the Ward Oval in Cobar from a very exhausted man. Time out by the referee. Just as well, because I could need a breather. 20 grand final. Bourke and Nyngan 12 all with a kick to come from Mark Gordon right in front of the post. Mark Gordon to convert the try, which he set up for Dennis Meany. He moves in. There's the kick. 14-12 to Bourke in the 1982 grand final. 24 and a half minutes gone in the second half. 15 and a half to go. Can Bourke continue on with it? The referee's called.
Go down a bit, boy.
Well, there we had a little request from the Bourke captain to move the supporters from the southern end of the field off the field. This could be a bad mistake to Nyngan. He's given a penny away directly in front of the post by 5'8" Thompson. He hasn't kicked the ball 10 yards. That's a bad mistake by Thompson. Nyngan, I think, Nyngan are panicking. Bourke lead 14-12 in the grand final for the first time of the game. Runs it up, looks for support, makes 5 yards. Plays it back for Willinger. Mark Gordon calls to the blind side, gives it a pat to on the open side, finds support in Turnbull. Turnbull runs across field, tries to beat the cover of the Nyngan man, but can't beat him. Pulled down by the replacement on the Nyngan side there. It's taken by by Dickens. He'll play it back to Turnbull, to Gordon, to Riga, runs it up, rash into the fence. He's lost the ball forward, picked up by Miller, the big front row from Nyngan. Plays it back to the Nyngan hooker, McCarthy, with no way through there. Held up by Banfield. Play it back to Miller. Nyngan looked very, very disorganised. To Robinson. Robinson tipped a kick, but there's no way through there. Put the dummy kick in. He's held up by Harvey to the replacement Nyngan forward. But Woods runs it up. This man never stopped all day, held down by Banfield. To McCarthy, to Linky, to Thompson. Thompson finds support and Smith runs across field, met a lovely tackle there by Sullivan. He's had a big second half, Sullivan. Played back to Stanton, carrying injury shoulder there, Stanton. Looks for the fort, finds Linky. Thompson puts a little grubber kick through. Picked up by the big captain, Willinger. But it's going to be a penalty against Pat Turley. Picked up by Pat Turley. Was putting a deliberate tip, he said. Well, that's one of Bourke's rare mistakes in the second half. Thompson puts the ball over the sideline. There it is, 5 inside of Bourke's territory. McCarthy to take the tap. Woods calls for it. He got Fisher on the burst. Who's going to get it? Kenny Fisher will get it. Up the middle he goes. Tried to break through. Finds the port. Picked up by Timber Banfield. Bourke ball. 15 in Bourke's territory. He'll play back to big Dorigo. Dorigo goes for his burst. Tries to push off 2 blokes but can't beat them. 11 short of the halfway line. Back to Banfield. To Gordon. Gordon looks for the port. Finds Turnbull. Turnbull tries to step through there. 10 short of the halfway line. He's 9 short of the halfway line. Play it back down up Downey. Downey will pick the ball up. Give it to Mark Gordon. To Turley. Turley looks for the port. Found in Dennis Mooney. Dennis Mooney puts a grubber kick through. There's no one back there. But Fisher burst back there to pick the ball up for Nyngan. Very, very lucky. Runs across field but picked up by Duncan. He caught 27 out for the Nyngan line. Bourke really putting the pressure on now. Picked up by Gribben, the fullback. There's no way through there. Dennis Mooney's down hurting the far east side of the field. Picked up McCarthy by Woods. Woods finds the replacement forward. No way through there for the Bourke tackle and defence. He'll take the tackle. Back to Robinson. Robinson looks for support. Woods there. Looks for more big billers there. Runs it up. There's no way through there. He'll take the tackle. 8 short of the halfway line. To McCarthy. To Linky. Linky's knocked the ball on. He took his eye off the ball for a split second and dropped the ball.
Come on, Banfield!
This is a vital scrum for Bourke. 28 minutes gone, the second half of the grand final. Bourke lead 14-12. This is a vital scrum win. Can Bourke win it? The ball in stay the same total, the referee says.
Bundy, get it!
In again. It could be a Bourke scrum win. No, it's not. Picked up by Linky. Throws it out to Smith. Smith tries to beat Gordon. Picks up Robinson. Robinson tries to cut back and field. There's no way through there by Steve Duncan. He'll take the ball 2.5 metres short of the halfway line.
Go off the field.
Picked up by McCarthy. McCarthy's no way through there.
Don't worry about him. We can't pull the game up.
Picked up by Robinson. Robinson gives the Mill in the blind, so Miller runs over the halfway line, met by Dorigo and held up by 3 other Bourke forwards. He's 5 in Bourke's territory on the eastern side of the ground. He'll play the ball back to McCarthy. McCarthy finds Linky. Linky finds Thompson. Thompson finds second rower Fisher, but deliberate shepherd. The referee said you're deliberate shepherd. Tried to use the decoy, but didn't come off. Sullivan tries to adjudicate a referee's decision over there, but the referee said, I've already awarded the penalty. Take it, son, and tell you nothing. Mark Gordon will kick for the side. No, it's not. It's Banfield will take the tap. I think he should go for the sideline, put the pressure right on. Banfield will tap the ball in the halfway line. Finds Bernard Davis. Bernard Davis runs up. He's 5 in Nyngan territory. Pull down the western side of the ground there by big centre Smith. He'll play back to Banfield. Mark Gordon calls for the ball. Gives a big tone to Dorigo. On the burst, Dorigo. Pushes off one, but can't push off Burt. Held up there with other ones there too. He'll play it. 5 in Nyngan's territory. Back to Banfield. To Gordon. Gordon finds... No, Gordon dummies the pass, but goes to tackle himself. He'll play it back to Banfield. Turnbull calls it. Turnbull runs it up. Just bar there. Tried to step through. Nearly broke the second line, but couldn't break the tackle. He'll play it back to Lockford. Harvey. Harvey to the open. Harvey goes up the middle. Tries to beat through Miller, but can't do it. To Banfield. To Gordon. Gordon puts a bomb up for field goal, but it's gone dead in goal. He should have killed the tackle then. Should have put the bomb up, not go for the field goal.
That really back, but
30 minutes gone the second half. Tap to be taken by Miller. Taps it, runs it up. Met by Dickens, pushed off Dickens, meets into Turley and Duncan. He'll take the tackle there. Back to McCarthy, to Woods. Woods looks for support. He runs himself. He's lost the ball, but knocked it backwards. Picked up by the Nyngan bloke. McCarthy. Back to Miller. Miller finds a replacement Nyngan forward there. Tries to bar through the Bourke defence, but can't push through Harvey. They swung out wide to Linky, to Thompson. Thompson finds Smith on the Bourke, but there's no way through the Bourke defence there of Dorigo and Sullivan. These blokes are really making these tackles affection in the second half. Sullivan takes the tackle of Grimman, but he pushes off Sullivan. Held down by Gordon. That's the last tackle. Takes a tackle. Wood passes out to Linky. Linky looks at Thompson. Thompson to Robinson. Robinson no way through there. Banfield and Sullivan. Piece of ball off him. Banfield piece the ball off him. Runs up to the quarter line. Called down short of it. Pull down there, Banfield. He'll play it back to Gordon. Played it back to Dickens to Rigo. Beautifully tossed there. Picked up by Bernard Davis. This could be a magnificent try to Bernard Davis. It is a magnificent try to Bernard Davis. They've gone wild at the Ward Oval in Cobar this afternoon. That could be the seal on the game. A magnificent pass there on the Bourke forward. I don't know who it was, but I think it could have been Mark Gordon. Bourke lead by 17 to 12. I make it about 7 minutes to go in the grand final. The crowd's gone hysteric here. They're on the playing field. Congratulate a magnificent Bourke try by Bernard Davis. It was Pat Turley who made the initial break. Time out by the referee. Did have to go down one of the greatest comebacks seen in Group 15 history, I think, in the grand final. Down 12-0 at half-time. They find themselves leading 17 points to 12. I make it about 7.5 minutes to go in the second half of the 1982 Group 15 Rugby League grand final at Ward Oval in Cobar. Nyngan are making a replacement. They're bringing on the half-back in Webster, Billy Webster coming on. I don't know who's going off. Gordon moves back, takes his time, looks in the ball. There's a boot to it, looks a beauty. It's over! A magnificent kick by Mark Gordon. Bourke 19 to 12. 7 minutes to go in the grand final of 82. They've scored 9-0 in the second half. A magnificent fight back by Bourke. Give it credit. I think patience was put to Coach Hamilton. He got over them, spoke to them half-time and told them not to panic. Do you take your time and you'll win the game, which they have done. Webster kicks the ball off, deep downfield. Dickens picks the ball up, knocked backwards. Meany picks the ball up. He runs up from the quarter line, tries to run around one man, beats Webster, beats one man, beats Smith, tries to push up another man, but held up by Thompson at 5'8". He's about 18 short of the halfway line to Turnbull. Turnbull goes himself up to the 10-yard line, met by 3 Nyngan defenders. He'll take the tackle. Plays it back to Banfield, to Gordon, to Wallinga. Wallinga runs it up. A great tackle there by the 3 Nyngan blokes. He's about 8 short of the halfway line. To Banfield. Mark Gordon calls. He's been dictating play all day. Dummies to Dickens, gives it to Turley. Turley runs up about 2 short of the halfway line. Plays it back to Mark Gordon. Down he calls it. On the open side, looked, stepped one way, couldn't hold his foot and fell over. 5 yards short of the halfway line. The last tackle. To Banfield, to Keithy Harvey. Harvey runs up to the halfway line, breaks one tackle, looks for the port but couldn't get the ball away. 34 minutes gone, the second half of the grand final. 6 to go. Can Bourke sustain this here? They're magnificent in the second half. 19 points to 0. Scrum in. Who's won it? I can't see. It looks like a Nyngan scrum, and it is. He'll play it back to McCarthy. McCarthy gives to Wood. Wood looks to Port Burt, but Burt there's no way through there from Turnbull. He held him up. 7 short of the halfway line to McCarthy, to Woods. Woods trying to urge his players on. Fullback Grimman there, trying to make a bit of leeway through there, but there's no way through this Bourke. Great defence in the second half. He'll play it back to McCarthy. McCarthy gives it out to Thompson to Smith. There's no way through it. Beautiful tackle by Ian Downey. He's about 3 short of the halfway line to Webster. Webster tries to go through to Webster. His brother looks for the port. There's no one back, and the man up on the Nyngan side. That's the last tackle right in the half.